was an argument about love. Love who you want. I want you to understand that that mindset comes directly from Satanism. Yes, they're saying love, but it's not the same love that you are thinking of. It's actually tolerance is what they're saying. Having tolerance is love. So let me make it clear. What you don't understand, what Kevin was explaining, was that he was explaining Satanism, but it's masked in terms that people think it means something different. This is what sellouts do. Like if he was just to say that I believe that everyone can just do what they want to do, then to his audience, it clearly shows compromise, because growing up in the church, we know that's not true. He can't just speak like that. So he says, man, I thought I was leading with love.
If I go to Judgment Day and God is like, Kev, let's talk about your love for LGBT people and all the things you said, I'm gonna take my chances with whatever happens. If he ends up being like, and I didn't like that, well, man, I thought I was gonna go with love, you know?
It's because he's playing with people. He's being deceptive. What he is talking about is love under Thelema. Thelema, that's a satanic term. Thelema is the 20th century esoteric religion and philosophy founded by, like I said, Aleister Crowley, based on that book of the law I just went over. And again, the core tenets of Thelema is do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. That is what Thelema is. So if you ever heard someone say this, this is what they're talking about. So let's make the connection. In regards to gay rights and what Kev is saying about loving gay people, he says, people are mad because of the way I say I'm going to love gay people. Understand, it's not about him being nice to them. That's not what he's saying. It's about accepting their decision and having the tolerance of their decisions because of Thelema. Do as thou wilt. Love is the law to them, so that's what they're going to lead with. He's leading with Thelema. That's what he's actually saying. The satanic doctrine of Thelema supports gay rights through its core tenets. Do what thou wilt, because it emphasizes individual freedom, sexual liberation, and non-interference with another's true will. That's what Thelema is. Do what you want. So basically, by their definition of love, they're saying if this is your true will, then accepting it is loving you. You have to understand what you're hearing because it's subtle. And most people fall for it because of the simple word love. That's why they use it. But really what they're promoting is not love, it's just tolerance. If you replace the word love with tolerance, you would understand truly what's being presented, and then you can understand how Satanism has spread to this world. He said he's going to just love the LGBTQ, but what he's actually saying is that he's going to show tolerance to the LGBT, and that is a very big difference. Over the past 20 years or so, this world has been pushing tolerance to us as love. Obama was one of the main ones who spread this mindset, and he developed it as he said he was fundamentally transforming this country. And he did exactly what he said. He consistently spoke on tolerance. He's the one that drove the satanic revolution.
Third thing we need to do. We must reject any forms of fundamentalism or racism or a belief in ethnic superiority that makes our traditional identities irreconcilable with modernity. Instead, we need to embrace the tolerance that results from respect of all human beings.
And so what you're seeing.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Hashem, Wakwakwadah, Shabbat honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom to Mighty Aki and Walakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from his hot captivity. His brother Kabul Cup community with no lesson. And when I saw this video, the only reason why I actually went in to look at this video was because I remembered that there was this one time a couple years back that this dude with the stage name Kev on stage, he was basically arguing with some, I don't even think it was an Israelite, I think it was just someone that knew that they were an Israelite, but they didn't really have that much knowledge and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that was who they were, but I'm not going to get into the details on that. Basically, what I heard was this guy, Kev on stage, was basically saying that, well, fuck what the Bible says. I'm just gonna love whoever, everyone, all that shit and stuff like that, which is a completely like outrageous and not a proper way to think. And one of the main things is through this thing that this guy had brought up, where it says it's this apparently satanic term where it says because it emphasizes individual freedom, sexual liberation, and non-interference with another's true will. Basically, it's saying like, okay, well, as long as, and let me actually get to the other one as well. As long as you, or Slakia, let me correct myself. Let me read it instead. The quote is, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is a law. Love under will. There is no law beyond. Do what thou wilt." Basically do what you want, and what you want and how you feel, how you think, that is basically how you're going to view the law. And even then, to take it a step further, I find it, I would, if you are a Christian, I would imagine that this has to sound familiar, number one, but taking it a step further than that, this is basically the entire crux of Christianity, all right, where this is literally coming from this Satanist, all right. Let me actually let's just do it for research sake. Let's just check this out. Fuck, I hate when this happens. Bear with me one moment. It's not working. Hold on. This nigga looks like a fucking devil. Like, he looks like a literal demon.
Milwaukee, Chicago, Omaha, San Francisco, all throughout this country, Denver, all throughout this country, Colorado Springs. I need you to Google all of that.
Let me see if this. It was Satanist, right?
I've had tea at 4 of them, so I know what I'm talking about. If you look down in my timeline, you'll see me having tea at castles. So it's not far-fetched. These buildings, they keep saying they founded them in 1870, 1890. Yeah, they found them.
So he's a magician. Apparently, he's not a Satanist, but there's I guess, what's the word, a close association to it, which I guess, sure, okay, whatever. But the main thing is that, yes, in fact, he was pushing Satanist ideology. All right, so this is not something that can be ignored. It literally says that he's definitely while he might not have called himself that, he's definitely still follows it. So the association is still there. The association is still there. And the thing about this, which it goes to show that, again, when it comes to, what the baseline morality is, people, they don't want to use the Bible to identify what is right, what's wrong. They would rather just go with whatever they feel. And again, with how Babylon, primarily America, pushes love as their main ideology, or main, what, I don't know what the term is, benchmark for what is okay to do and what is okay to not do. This is basically how Christians have kind of superimposed that into YAHAWAH in terms of the Bible. So they say, oh, well, God is love, and love is the law, love is this, love is that, and whatever, stuff like that. So that as a result of that, then we don't need to, as long as we're not hurting anyone, then we are able to do whatever we want. But very clearly, YAHAWAH in the Bible does not support that. All right. Now, with that being said, let's actually finally get into these precepts. Revelation chapter 2, verse 6. But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. Which the Nicolaitans, let me also get this. This is basically, for a summary, because I've done this multiple times before, but for a summary, the Nicolaitans are like, they're a Christian sect that basically said you're allowed to you don't have to keep the law because Yahawashi, he died for your sins and stuff like that. So let me see if I actually have a proper bear with me one moment. It's
See, the Native Americans, their homeland is Mongolia and Siberia. You can send them back. You can send other people back. They got planes sending people back to where.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back.
so it's basically criticized for promoting immoral compromise with pagan society, including idolatry and sexual immorality. Yahawashi expressed strong disapproval of their practices, which likely involve misusing grace to justify libertine behavior. So yeah, that's basically it. As I said, they said they took grace and said, okay, well, because Yahawashi died for us and we're under grace now, and that means that we're allowed to do whatever we want. We're able to break the law. That's basically it. I'm not going to go into too much into detail, but you basically understand what that means. You know, you can eat pork, you could do all these other things. You could or you didn't have to conform to the morality that Yahawadah established for us, because obviously, like for example, some people might say, oh, it's just eating food, who cares if I eat pork and whatnot. So that might be something that one person says, okay, that is not a big deal, but for us that should be a part of our morality, where it's not the matter of eating the pork itself, but the matter of being obedient to Yahawadah, where the Lord said, no, don't eat that, and the reason why you shouldn't eat it does not matter, because all you need to know is that Yahawadah told you not to eat it. All right, so it's literally that simple for us. But again, it's a matter of, are you going to listen, or are you just going to say, oh well, I'm going to do whatever I want and stuff like that, or because I can because I can. All right, so again, that's the Nicolaitans over here, which also goes back into this thing where, again, this has been the entirety of Christian doctrine, where the Christians, they go after this, they follow this, they believe in this type of stuff, but they think that what's it called? They think that this is what Yahawadah wants, when the scriptures go against that. And they know, the crazy thing about this is that they do know that Yahawadah does not approve of that, but yet they still do it anyway. All right. So as a result of that, okay. So as a result of that, ignoring the warnings and stuff like that, then you can't expect anything else or anything more than judgment or disapproval from Yahawadah when he set stuff up. And even then, these sects of people that think that this is okay, just like this guy, this Kevon stage guy, you know, you're basically saying that the Lord did not know what he was doing when he made the laws. So now all this stuff doesn't mean anything. All right, or you would insult Yahawadah intelligence that way. All right, so continuing on, let's continue on. Which Slakia, by the way, I say that to. I'm not saying that to be insulting to Yahawadah. I'm saying that to show that, okay, well, this is what these people are doing when they basically speak like this. All right. So, when they speak like this and come to these baseless these conclusions. Okay, so over here, Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And then what they don't see, if you read the literal next verse, verse 18, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. So if you read the literal next verse, it says, till all be fulfilled, as in everything has to be fulfilled, and the law is not done away with till all is fulfilled, and is Has everything been fulfilled? Has Yahawashi returned? Has Yahawashi, established his kingdom on earth and stuff like that? No, very, very clearly that's not the case. So all has not been fulfilled, meaning that the law still applies. And again, it is the morality of Yahawadah. So continuing on, Matthew chapter 5 verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Which this is another thing where Yahawadah is perfect, and we should be striving for perfection. Okay, how is it that the Lord tells us do this, do that, and stuff like that and we just make excuses that, oh, it's too hard, there's this, is that, and whatever. Well, let's actually see if it's actually too hard. Well, first off, let's read this in 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. Meaning that Yahawashi was the example for us to follow, the same way that Yahawashi was perfect. As Yahweh is perfect, we can also be perfect, and we should be striving for perfection. All right. Finally, all right, let's use a non-godly example and go to Luke chapter 1, verse 5. That's our verse 5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. Verse 6, and they were both righteous before Yahweh, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless. So basically, the thing here was that Yahawashi was not the only person that was blameless in the eyes of Yahweh. We also have these two other examples in Zacharias and his wife Elizabeth. So as a result of that, what is our excuse? All right, because very clearly it's possible, and I just gave you 3 separate examples of people that are able to keep the law perfect without messing up. So the conclusion here is that it shouldn't be that hard for you to be obedient unto Yahweh. So with that, let me just. You know what? First, before I end it off here, let's conclude. Let's go to the conclusion and stuff like that. If my thing can stop pausing. So yeah, basically the conclusion here is that we are expected to follow after Yahweh. Okay, and of course, people are going to find millions of different excuses. And actually, let's get that precept. It's in Proverbs. I want to try to get this. Bear with me one moment. My thing is slowing down, but I want to get this one precept, and I'll end it off there. What is it? Tiger?
Here are clear. We have to destroy their military. Iran's military.
Here, so Proverbs 26 verse 13, the slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion is in the street. So basically what this means is that people will always say, well, someone that is lazy, someone that doesn't take the things or take Yahawadah seriously, they're going to find an excuse. They're going to find a way to say, oh, well, there's something in the way, there's a line, there's a this, there's a that, or whatever. So as a result of that, I can't go, or I can't do it, or I can't do this, that, and the third, or whatever. And as a result of that, they just dismiss the need to do it because, oh, it's too hard, or this and the third and whatnot. So as a result of that, that's where people like this come into play, where they make excuses, they say all this stuff to remove any type of responsibility from themselves, when we are supposed to be doing our best to go out of our way to serve Yahweh. So with that, I pray this is most edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Yahawadah, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, abad, shalom.